In sense of what he did was wrong. I can put my hands up and say, yeah, the shouting, the behaviour, but then there's certain things that was said today that have hurt his feelings, as you can see. I need to know your intentions.
Personally feel more deflated for Devon than he does. And I'm happy that his cousin was there to stick up for him and actually speak on his behalf, because Julia Ruth, sadly, I said this last week, I said she's going to be turned into the villain the moment that Stephen leaves, and production are already having it in place. And this is why I was saying she needs to keep quiet, she needs to mind her business and not involve herself in other people's business. It comes across, I agree with the cousin, as though she's putting on a performance, but that's just where I stand. And then Reiss and Leisha, I don't even know why they were coupled up. I really don't even know why they paired them up, because at the end of the day, they don't make sense. He's already got the egg right at the altar. I think if he liked someone who looks like Sarah, maybe he would go for Sarah, but I don't think Sarah will be his type, because he's too much of a pretty boy. And so I can't wait to see what happens with that mess. Anyway, hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight UK, Season 10, Episode 13. This was a short one. I'm sorry for the delay with my reviews. I don't know what's been happening with the volume, but anyway, we move. So we start off with the couples in their apartments. They're just getting ready. And you have the newlyweds excited because they're going on their honeymoon, but we don't get... Well, they don't say they're going on their honeymoon, but I assume they're going on their honeymoon. And I really love this for John and Abigail, because they seem to be happy. They seem to have been matched to the person that they wanted. So good for them. We then get to meet the new bride, Leisha. Leisha, oh my God. Leisha is the extreme version of Grace. It seems she's too hyper. Even her own sister was saying she's too hyper. Anyway, Leisha is 33. She says, you know, she's desperate to get married. She's looking for a husband. Anytime she meets someone, she already starts thinking, is this the one? Are they going to be my husband? And it's like, nah, this is a bit too much. She says, you know, she loves the chance to fall in love. She felt depressed when her last partner broke up with her. She dated someone for 6 years and they had different priorities. She wants to settle down. She's in her 30s, so she wants to start having children. And so she's saying, I really want someone very much, I want someone to get married to. I really need a partner. She is giving thirsty. She's giving desperate vibes. And sadly for her, guys are going to take advantage of her because of that. She said she wants someone who's good looking, who's charming, who's got muscles, who's got great family values, and who's got manners. And it's like, this thing about good looking looks so fade. So the idea that she's desperate for someone just because of their looks, it doesn't make sense. She is matched with Reiss. He is 33 and he owns his own company. He's a painter, decorator. He says people think he looks like Flash. He comes across very pompous, in my opinion. He did show us his business. It looked like him and his friends took a couple of cans of paint and were in somebody's house, and he said that was his business. Because he was even asked, where are you going? And he said, I don't know. I think he was trying to look busy. I was like, this is going to be a hot mess. He says in a partner, he goes for looks, he goes for teeth, he wants, you know, how someone walks, and he wants someone who's comfortable with him talking about aliens. It's like, who's going to have time for that? I really don't know. He said he's very close to his family. We were shown him and his nan playing chess, and so that was really cute. His nan really seems to like him. She really seems to love her grandson, sorry. That's good for her. So he says he's a very romantic guy, and his nan agrees with that. He says he opens the door for ladies, he holds the chair. And it's like, that's the basic. You can't say that's it. We meet Julia Ruth and Devon. They are going to meet up with their loved ones. Obviously, they've been having issues in their marriage, so they are going to meet up with their loved ones and sort of explain what's going on in their relationships and see how they can get help. The problem I have is every time we see Devon and Julia Ruth, it's always Julia Ruth complaining about something that he did. We never get to hear what she did wrong. It's always what has been done to her, and nothing has been done to him. And it's like, This man is not crazy that he's just yelling for no apparent reason. He can't just be upset and shouting at himself. I don't understand it, and I think maybe with time we're about to find out exactly what is going on behind closed doors, and I think at some point Devon is going to get upset and reveal what she is doing as her contribution to whatever nonsense is going on in their apartment. Davide and Kia, for the first time, they're not in the best of spaces. It seems they fell out. Apparently, Davide gave Kia his jacket, and Kia didn't seem to take as much caution as Davide would have wanted. He was asked to sort of close the buttons, and then Kia threw a fit because he felt like Davide was telling him what to do. And it's like, it's not that big a deal. Why do people love to label stuff? The problem people have now is everything is labeled. Oh, they're controlling me. They're whatever nonsense. People just need to live in the moment and sort of get away from some of these tags that they put on certain things. Anyway, they seem to have made up and are in a good space. So we have Reiss and Leisha getting married. Leisha is with her mom and sister getting her makeup done. She is very nervous. Her mom is very nervous as well because she keeps saying my daughter's a bit too much. She's a bit too much to contain. So I really hope this man, more or less implying he's got the patience of a saint. Her sister didn't mince words. She said, my sister can be a bit intense, so good luck to you all. And it's like, if her family keeps saying she's intense, I can only imagine what we, the viewers, are going to think. And I don't know how they didn't sort of sway her from staying away from this experiment. Reiss on his part is joined by his friend. His friend looked like he couldn't be bothered to be there. He looked like he had been forced to actually be there and support his friend. He looked like, he was ready to take the first exit left. They sit down for a conversation with Reiss sort of saying, he's really ready, he wants to get married, and he wants to find the one. And it's like, Reiss is good looking. I don't understand why he didn't find the one in the real world. Why would he need to come to the experiment to find a person when he's that good looking? That makes me believe that there's something wrong with him. There's a lot of issues there that are going to shock us, the viewers. On her part, Leisha is speaking to her mom and sister, and she's saying, I really want to get married. I hope he's the one. Her mom is excited for her. And she's saying, I want my daughter to be happy, so I hope this guy is the one for her. But still, there's this nervousness about what's going to happen because, she can be a bit intense. Anyway, you have Reiss walk down the aisle. Her family is excited because he's quite a good-looking guy, but they're also nervous because they know how she can be. She was walked down the aisle by a man that looked like her dad. And I was biting my teeth because they walk down the aisle, they stand there, and then she starts giggling and giggling and giggling. And she says, I'm giggling because I'm very nervous. This is what I do when I'm nervous. And it's like, I get it, but still at the same time, this is intense. This is intense. You're being too much. And you could see over time he got the ick. And he never got it back. His vows were great. And then for her to read her vows and say, pause, that tells you that she didn't write her vows. She must have got them on, what do you call it? ChatGPT or someone in production must have written the vows for her. And she kept making mistake after mistake after mistake. And it makes you question, does she have a problem whereby she struggles with reading? Or is it just because she's nervous? He got the ick. He really got the ick. When he was asked to kiss the bride, he kissed her on both cheeks. She wasn't happy. Oh, why is he kissing me on both cheeks? Does that mean he's not attracted to me? What does that mean? And it's like, you're overthinking it, love. You're overthinking it. You're doing way too much. I feel like he saw her and thought she's stunning, but then once she started putting on the performance that she was putting on, he got the ick, and I don't think she'll ever win him back. I don't think he would like someone like Sarah. Otherwise, I would think, maybe he'll couple up with Sarah or he'll try and explore something with Sarah, but I don't think Sarah will be his type. So I can't wait to see what happens with that dumpster fire. We then have Julia Ruth meet up with her friends. What do I think? I have a problem with Julia Ruth. I think Julia Ruth is there for a performance, there to get opportunities and say I was on Married at First Sight. I'm going to be the first to say it. Because of the way she behaves, I remember day one when she walked into the hen do, the way she was fluffing up her hair and sort of swinging and modeling and stuff. this is what she's there for, and her friends know it for a fact, and she's looking for excuses of how to break up with this man, because she was complaining about the conversations, that they were too deep, they were too intense. He yelled at me, our values don't align. He told me that he valued sex and looks last, and for me that was fake. I think he was lying. I think I'm lacking. She was asked about physical intimacy. She said, I'm lacking that part. Nothing has really taken place. My toys are still in my bag. And it's like, if you want to play with your toys, ask for a room and go and play with your toys. I don't get it. I really don't understand what she stands to benefit by making herself out to be the victim. And sadly, it's going to backfire, because if you put on a mask, over time that mask will slip. She would rather be herself and just say, I don't like this man. Be Sarah and say, I don't like this man. And that's it. And people know you for that. Not to pretend, because her friends were saying on wedding day, things were great. And now we're sad to hear, that things are not going okay. The friends were saying this is a red flag. The fact that he yells at you, it's a red flag. I think she over-dramatized everything, because you then had Devon meet up with his cousin, and his cousin sat there and listened to everything he had to say. Then they went and they met up with Julia Ruth and her friends. And so the cousins sat there and listened as Julia Ruth was popping whatever nonsense she was saying. Because Devon had told her that, we have differences. My number one priority is children. And they were saying, yes, because he's got a child. So the cousin sat back and listened to Julia Ruth. You go on and on. And when Devon tried to sort of defend himself, you had her friend sort of saying, oh, you're refusing to take responsibility for your actions. And it's like, so he takes responsibility to her. He takes responsibility in front of the experts and is now supposed to come and take responsibility in front of you. Who are you for him to take responsibility? I get why he cried. I understand why he cried. He was frustrated. He didn't know what else to do, which is really sad, because you're in this marriage, you really want it to work, and sadly nothing seems to be going okay for you. So I give him credit for not yelling or screaming or shouting and going and crying in the corner, and his cousin was trying to pacify him. Once she pacified him, she came back and she asked Julia Ruth that, what are your intentions? Because it's one thing to not be happy in a relationship. It's another thing to damage somebody's character by saying things that are not right. And Julia Ruth was taken aback, because I think she expected the cousin to come in and support her as girl power. For her friends to say, oh, you're devaluing her feelings, that's not it. Your friend at times is being too theatrical for nothing, and you need to own that, and you need to take responsibility for that, because she is as much responsible for the failures in this marriage as he is. I'm not saying he's a victim. They're both just as bad as far as I'm concerned. When the pictures were being taken, you had sort of Leisha ask Reiss that, why didn't you kiss me? And it's like, that's not a big deal. That's not a big deal. They sat down for dinner and he wasn't having it, because it was question after question after question after question. And it wasn't just Leisha asking questions. Her sister was asking questions as well. And in the end, he was fed up and he stood up and he went and he spoke to her parents. I was like, oh, that's a bit deep. That's a bit deep. That should be enough to tell you that he's gone. Anyway, you had Davide and Key host his mom. I really loved that. How sweet they were, how happy they were. Even Kia's mom was happy, because she said, this is what I wanted. I'm very happy. I'm very excited. I've got 2 sons. That's all I ever wanted, to see my child happy. And the 2 of them really seem to be doing a lot of work. I think whatever trauma they've been through, that is what has taught them what to look for in a relationship. And they're doing their best to make sure that they don't lose, something good. So I hope they succeed in this relationship. I think Kia and Davide are actually being more sort of forthcoming about their relationship as compared to other people. So I can't wait to see what happens there. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Click on the link in my video to watch my review from episode 12. Bye guys.